Simpler. You don't become rich by luck, you become rich by thinking differently. Most people wait for an opportunity. A few create it. And then there's a rare mindset, the one that quietly builds wealth while others stay stuck. Today I'm going to show you the rule that changed everything for me, and if you truly understand it, your life will never be the same. Most people don't want to hear this because it shifts the responsibility inward. It's easier to blame the economy, the situation, the lack of opportunities, but deep down there is a quiet truth we cannot escape. Life responds to who you are becoming, not just what you are doing. If your mindset is limited, your income will be limited. If your discipline is weak, your results will be weak. If your vision is small, your life will shrink to fit it. You cannot carry a small mindset into a big future. Growth is painful. It demands that you face your weaknesses, your excuses, your fears. It forces you to look at yourself honestly and admit, I need to become more. And that moment, that uncomfortable realization is where transformation begins. Because Arabic saying Arabic ka'af, sustenance is not only about effort, it is deeply connected to your character, your intentions, and your trust in Allah. When you grow in patience, your Arabic saying Arabic ka'af expands in ways you never expected. When you grow in gratitude, what you have begins to multiply. When you grow in sincerity, doors open that no strategy could unlock. Allah does not just look at what you earn, He looks at who you are while earning it. There are people working day and night, yet they feel stuck. And there are others who work with clarity, discipline, and faith, and their path keeps opening. The difference is not always in effort, it is in growth. Every time you choose learning over laziness, every time you choose discipline over comfort, every time you control your Arabic noon, Arabic fa, Arabic seen instead of following it blindly, you are raising your level. And as you rise internally, your external world begins to reflect it. Think about it. How can someone who avoids responsibility attract greater wealth? How can someone who fears risk build something meaningful? How can someone who refuses to learn expect to earn more? It doesn't align. Your income is not controlled by your wishes. It is shaped by your identity. When you become more valuable, more disciplined, more focused, more trustworthy, you naturally attract higher opportunities. Not because the world suddenly becomes fair, but because you become capable. Allah says that He does not change the condition of a people until they change what is within themselves. And this is the deepest principle of growth. Your external reality is a mirror of your internal state. If you want more income, don't just ask for it, become the person who can handle it. Become the person who wakes up with purpose, the one who honors time, the one who keeps promises, the one who continues even when motivation fades. Because real growth is not emotional, it is intentional. There will be days when you feel tired, lost, or behind, days when you question yourself, days when progress feels invisible. But those are the exact moments where your growth is being tested, and every test carries an opportunity to rise or to remain the same. Your income will always follow your growth like a shadow. It cannot run ahead of you, and it cannot exceed what you are prepared to manage. If it does, it won't stay. So instead of chasing money, chase growth. Instead of comparing yourself to others, improve yourself daily. Instead of complaining about what you lack, build what you need within yourself. Simpler. Because the moment you elevate your thinking, strengthen your discipline, purify your intentions, and align your efforts with faith, your life begins to shift in ways that no shortcut could ever produce. Most people spend their entire lives perfecting how to earn, but almost no time learning how to become. They wake up, give their best hours, their strongest energy, their focus all to their job, and then at the end of the day, they are too tired to invest even a few minutes into themselves. And that's where the silent loss begins. Because your job will pay you for what you do, but life will reward you for who you become. If all your energy goes into maintaining your current position, you will stay exactly where you are. No matter how hard you work, no matter how many hours you give, your results will remain tied to your current level of thinking, discipline, and belief. You cannot outwork a limited mindset. Working on yourself means building what no one sees. It means strengthening your discipline when no one is watching. It means learning when it's easier to scroll. It means growing when it's more comfortable to stay the same. And that kind of work is rare. That's why most people stay stuck. Not because they lack effort, but because they direct their effort in the wrong place. They polish their tasks, but ignore their potential. Look at your daily life for a moment. How much time do you spend improving your skills? How much time do you spend feeding your mind with knowledge? How much time do you spend reflecting, correcting, and becoming better? And now compare that with how much time you give to your job. The difference between those two answers is the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Because your job can change, your income can change, Your opportunities can change, but if you don't change, nothing truly changes. Working on yourself is not just about success, it's also an act of responsibility. Allah has given you abilities, time, and potential, and wasting them is not something small. You are accountable for what you could have become. Every skill you ignore, every habit you refuse to fix, every moment of growth you delay, it all adds up. And one day, it turns into regret. But when you choose growth even in small steps, something powerful begins to happen. Your confidence starts to rise. Your thinking becomes sharper. Your decisions become stronger. And slowly your identity begins to shift. You are no longer just someone who works. You become someone who leads, creates, and attracts. And Allah sees that effort. The effort to improve yourself, to discipline your mind, to seek knowledge, to use your time wisely, this is not unnoticed. There is barakah in growth. There is blessing in intention. There is expansion in sincerity. Sometimes the results don't show immediately, but something is happening beneath the surface. You are becoming capable. And once you become capable, doors that once felt impossible begin to open naturally. Understand this deeply. If you only work on your job, you will earn a salary. But if you work on yourself, you can build a life. Your job might be taken away. Your position might change. The market might shift. But what you build within yourself stays with you. Your discipline, your mindset, your knowledge, your character. These are assets no one can take from you. So don't just ask, what do I need to do today? Ask, who do I need to become today? Because the real transformation begins the moment you stop living on autopilot and start investing in your own growth like your future depends on it. Because it does. Most people spend their lives running, chasing money, chasing recognition, chasing opportunities, believing that if they just move faster, push harder, and hustle longer, success will finally come within reach. But the harder they chase, the more it seems to slip away, because success was never designed to be hunted like that. It responds to alignment, not desperation. When your mindset is scattered, your habits are inconsistent, and your intentions are unclear, even if opportunities appear, you won't be able to hold them. You might touch success for a moment, but you won't sustain it. Chasing creates pressure. Attraction creates flow. When you chase, you operate from lack, from a place of, I don't have enough. And that energy reflects in your decisions. You rush, you settle, you accept less than you're worth. You move without clarity. But when you focus on becoming, everything begins to change. You start building discipline, not just motivation. You start seeking knowledge, not just shortcuts. You start strengthening your character, not just your image. And slowly, without even realizing it, you begin to attract what you once chased. Because opportunities don't just come to effort, they come to readiness. Think about it. If success came to you today, are you truly prepared to handle it? Do you have the mindset to sustain it? The discipline to manage it? The patience to grow it? If not, then even if it comes, it won't stay. This is why some people rise quickly and fall just as fast. They receive what they were not ready to carry. True success requires internal strength, and this is where faith deepens the understanding. What is written for you will reach you. No one can take it away, but you are still responsible for becoming the person who is ready to receive it. Allah places barakah in effort that is sincere, consistent, and grounded in the right intention. Not in desperate chasing, but in steady growth. When your actions align with purpose, when your heart is clean from envy and comparison, when your effort is paired with tawakkul, trust, things begin to come to you in ways you didn't plan. Doors open quietly. People appear unexpectedly. Opportunities align naturally, not because you chased them, but because you became aligned with them. There is a calm power in this. You no longer panic about timing. You no longer compare your journey. You no longer feel desperate to prove yourself. Instead, you focus on your growth, your discipline, your consistency. You refine your skills when no one is watching. You correct your habits when it's uncomfortable. You push forward even when progress feels slow. And all of this builds a version of you that naturally attracts higher levels of success. Because success is not just about what you get, it's about what you can keep. And you can only keep what you are ready for. So stop running after everything you think you need. Start building the person who deserves it. Let your work speak. Let your discipline show. Let your character shine. And trust that what is meant for you will not miss you. Because when your mindset is strong, your intentions are pure, and your actions are consistent, success stops being something you chase and starts becoming something that finds you. Most people underestimate the power of small actions. They wait for big moments, big opportunities, big breakthroughs, thinking that success must come from something dramatic. But life doesn't work that way. Real transformation is quiet. It happens in the small, repeated choices that no one notices. A single day may seem insignificant, One extra hour of learning feels small. One disciplined decision feels minor. One act of consistency feels invisible. But what you do daily is not just an action, it is a vote for the person you are becoming. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you are building strength. Every time you choose learning over distraction, you are sharpening your mind. Every time you choose patience over impulse, you are elevating your character. And these small choices begin to compound. At first, nothing seems to change. Days pass. Effort continues. Results feel slow. And this is where most people quit, because they are focused on immediate rewards, not long-term transformation. But understand this deeply, Allah places immense value in consistency. Even small deeds, when done regularly with sincerity, carry weight. It's not always the size of the action, it's the consistency of it. A small habit done daily becomes a part of your identity. And once it becomes your identity, it shapes your destiny. Think about it. If someone reads just 10 pages a day, in 1 year they have read thousands. If someone improves 1% daily, in time they become unrecognizable from who they once were. If someone controls their habits consistently, they begin to control their life. But the opposite is also true. Small neglect becomes big regret. Small delays become lost years. Small bad habits slowly build a life you never intended. This is why habits are powerful. They don't feel urgent, but they are always working in the background, either for you or against you. And your own self will always try to convince you that small actions don't matter. It will tell you, skip today, it won't make a difference. But that's how discipline breaks, not in one big decision, but in small, repeated compromises. The strongest people are not those who make one big move. They are the ones who show up daily, even when they don't feel like it. They stay consistent when it's boring. They stay focused when it's slow. They stay committed when no one is watching. And Allah sees that consistency, the quiet effort, the unseen discipline, the intention behind every small act. And there is barakah in that, a multiplication that goes beyond what the eyes can measure. Sometimes your small habits will open doors you never expected, not because they were big, but because they were consistent. Success is not built in a day. It is built daily. So don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for perfect timing. Don't wait for a big opportunity. Start small, but stay consistent. Because the life you dream of is not created by one powerful moment. It is created by the small things you do every single day. Even when they feel like they don't matter, most people believe that if they just work longer hours, put in more effort, and stay busy all day, their income should increase. But reality tells a different story. There are people working 12 hours a day, exhausted, drained, yet still struggling. And there are others working fewer hours, yet earning far more. Why? Why? Because the world does not reward time, it rewards value. Time is available to everyone, but value is rare. You can give someone your time and still be replaceable. But when you bring unique value, something that solves problems, creates impact, or delivers results, you become difficult to ignore. This is where the shift must happen. Stop asking, how many hours did I work? Start asking, what value did I create? Because you can spend years being busy and still not move forward. But a single skill mastered deeply can change your entire life. Value comes from growth. It comes from learning what others avoid. It comes from developing skills that are in demand. It comes from thinking differently, solving problems faster, and delivering results better than average. And that requires effort, not just physical effort, but mental and emotional growth. You must invest in yourself. Learn more than what your job requires. Improve beyond what is expected. Think deeper than what is common. Because average effort produces average value, and average value produces average income. There is no shortcut around this. And here's the deeper truth: when your intention is sincere, when you aim to create real value, not just chase money, Allah places barakah in your work. What you produce carries weight. It reaches people. It benefits others. And that value returns to you in ways you cannot always predict. Because Arabic Rod, Arabic Sain, Arabic Off is not only about effort, it is about impact. If you solve bigger problems, you earn more. If you help more people, you grow more. If you bring clarity where there is confusion, you become valuable. This is why some people get paid more in 1 hour than others do in a full day, not because their time is different, but because their value is different. And value is not built overnight. It is built through discipline, through learning when it's uncomfortable, through practice when no one is watching, through failure, correction, and persistence. Every skill you develop becomes an asset. Every problem you learn to solve increases your worth. Every level of growth raises your value in the marketplace. So if you want to earn more, don't just work more, become more. Sharpen your mind, strengthen your discipline, expand your skills, refine your thinking. Because the moment you increase your value, your income begins to follow naturally. And when your work carries sincerity, excellence, and purpose, it is no longer just work. It becomes something that benefits others, elevates you, and opens doors that time alone could never unlock. Whether you realize it or not, you are constantly being influenced. The people around you, the conversations you listen to, the content you consume, the places you spend your time in, all of it is shaping how you think, how you feel, and ultimately how you act. And your actions create your results. Most people try to change their life without changing their environment. They want discipline while staying surrounded by distraction. They want growth while staying connected to negativity. They want success while constantly exposed to doubt, fear, and limitation. It doesn't work like that, because your environment is stronger than your willpower. You might feel motivated for a moment, inspired for a day, but if your surroundings pull you in the opposite direction, eventually you will fall back into old patterns, not because you are weak, but because you are influenced. Look closely at your environment. Are the people around you pushing you forward or keeping you comfortable? Do your daily conversations revolve around growth or complaints? Does your space encourage focus or distraction? These things may seem small, but they are powerful. If you are constantly around people who doubt everything, you will slowly start doubting yourself. If you are surrounded by excuses, you will begin to justify your own. If you are immersed in negativity, your thinking will become limited. And once your thinking is limited, your results cannot expand. But the opposite is also true. When you place yourself in an environment of growth, something shifts. When you are around people who are disciplined, focused, and driven, you begin to rise. When your surroundings encourage learning and improvement, your habits start to change. When your space is aligned with your goals, your actions become more intentional. You don't even have to force it, it begins to happen naturally. Because environment works silently. It shapes your standards. It influences your expectations. It defines what feels normal. And whatever feels normal becomes your life. This is why protecting your environment is not optional, it is necessary. Even from a deeper perspective, your environment affects your heart. If you constantly expose yourself to negativity, distractions, and harmful influences, it slowly weakens your focus, your discipline, and even your connection with Allah. But when you choose an environment that reminds you of purpose, growth, and faith, your heart becomes stronger, more aware, more aligned. You start valuing your time. You become more conscious of your actions. You begin to seek better, not just easier. And Allah places barakah in spaces where there is intention, growth, and sincerity. A good environment doesn't just improve your results, it protects your direction. Sometimes growth is not about doing more, it's about changing what surrounds you. It might mean limiting certain conversations. It might mean stepping away from negative influences. It might mean creating a space where focus becomes easier than distraction. These decisions are not easy, but they are necessary. Because if you stay in an environment that does not support your growth, you will have to fight every single day just to stay on track. And eventually, that fight becomes exhausting. So choose wisely. Choose what you listen to. Choose who you spend time with. Choose what you allow into your mind. Because your environment is not just a place, it is a force. And over time, it will either build you or break you. It will either elevate your thinking or quietly limit everything you could have become. Most people are looking for a breakthrough, something fast, something big, something that changes everything overnight. But what they don't realize is that wealth is not built in moments of intensity. It is built in patterns of consistency. Anyone can feel motivated for a day. Anyone can push hard for a week. But very few can stay consistent for years. And that is where the real difference is created. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Consistency is repeating that discipline again and again without needing motivation. This is not easy. There will be days when you feel tired, days when you feel distracted, days when you question if it's even worth it. And in those moments, your emotions will try to take control. They will tell you to slow down, to skip, to delay. But discipline does not listen to feelings. It follows purpose. Because if you only act when you feel motivated, your progress will always be unstable. You will move forward, then stop, then start again, and never build real momentum. Wealth requires stability, and stability comes from consistency. Small actions repeated daily with discipline begin to stack. At first, it feels like nothing is happening. Effort goes in, results seem slow. But something is building beneath the surface. Your habits are strengthening. Your focus is sharpening. Your identity is changing. And once that identity changes, everything else begins to follow, because you are no longer forcing yourself to work, you become someone who naturally shows up. That is power. And this is where many people fail. Not because they are incapable, but because they are inconsistent. They start strong, but they don't stay strong. They rely on motivation instead of building discipline. Motivation fades. Discipline remains. From a deeper perspective, consistency is not just about success, it is a form of sincerity. When you show up daily, even in small ways, even when no one sees it, that effort carries weight. Allah sees the consistency in your actions, the struggle behind your discipline, the intention that keeps you going when it's difficult. And there is barakah in that. Simpler. A small act done consistently can become greater than a big act done once. Because consistency builds trust with yourself, with your process, and with your Creator. Every time you stay disciplined, you strengthen your character. Every time you stay consistent, you prove to yourself that you are reliable. And that reliability is what builds wealth, because wealth is not just money. It is control over your habits. It is strength in your decisions. It is the ability to stay focused when others get distracted. Money follows that kind of person. So don't chase quick wins. Don't depend on temporary motivation. Don't look for shortcuts that promise fast success. Build discipline. Show up daily. Do the work when it's easy and especially when it's hard. Stay consistent even when results are invisible. Because what you are building is not just income, you are building a foundation strong enough to carry everything you are asking for. And that foundation is built one disciplined, consistent day at a time if you truly want a different life. Stop waiting for better opportunities and start becoming a better version of yourself. Because the moment you change how you think, you change what you attract.